Hello again and welcome to Cowboy Football Weekly, driven by Nissan. Well, the Cowboys opened up conference play right there in War Memorial Stadium last Saturday evening and didn't go so well. The top team in the conference, the defending champions, the team that's picked to win this conference again this year, the Boise State Broncos, took care of the Cowboys 34-14. And Kevin, there's a lot of reasons for that happening, for that score. Everybody kind of shares in that loss, I think.
Oh, I think there's no doubt about it. Now, number one, Boise's pretty good, by the way. But the Cowboy offense not able to sustain anything. Cowboy defense not able to get Boise off the field. Boise State with 89 plays run. The Cowboys with 59. That's not going to win many football games. Time of possession way out of kilter. So Cowboys have some work to do, there's no doubt, as they head into this week.
Cowboy head football coach Craig Bohl talked about that Boise State-Wyoming game.
We've got to do a much better job staying on the field on offense. To flip that ratio around, we got to do a much better job getting off the field on defense. Some of that, we've got to work really hard to correct. Some of the things are correctable too. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that we had on the first drive was just case in point there. We were off the field, and so.
Well, next up for the Cowboys, it's out on the islands. They'll travel to Oahu to take on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, but still things to be learned, I suppose, from that first game, Kevin.
Oh, yeah, lots of things to be learned. The Cowboys obviously need to sustain drives, move the chains. Have not been able to do that very often this year. And number two, you're going to have an offense over there that's prolific as it can be, and a team that plays very well in Aloha Stadium. It's a tough trip and all that stuff, but you've got to stick to what you're doing and try to do what you're doing better. And the Cowboys did not do that against a very good team last week. So, okay, that's gone. Put that aside. Now you got to look at a team that really scores a lot of points. They can cause difficulty on defense, but this is an offensive-minded football team, no doubt.
Yeah, that's what head coach Craig Bohl says. It's time to move on, get ready for the Rainbow Warriors.
And the best thing I know, and our players know, when you get started on your opponents, correct the things that you need to correct and quit looking in the rearview mirror and look forward. I know that we're 2-3 right now, and we're playing a 5-1 Hawaii team over there who typically plays really well on the island, and Coach Rolovic's done a good job.
So it is on to the islands to take on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, and stay with us. We'll come back and talk about that big matchup, Wyoming against Hawaii, this coming Saturday night. Back with more on Cowboy Football Weekly, driven by Nissan, right after this.
It's times like these when you've got to stay centered. The 2018 Nissan Rogue, with available Pro Pilot Assist that can help keep you centered in your lane. Experience it only at your local Nissan store. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
If keeping your work site on time, on budget, and onto the next job is keeping you up at night, you need to wake up to Komatsu. Our machines are designed for production, uptime, and savings. We are more than just iron. We are giving you a technology to move more material in less passes, start sooner, finish faster, and burn less fuel. We are solving problems before you had them. So stop doing what you've always done. The only thing that's going to keep you up at night is wondering why you didn't do it sooner. Discover the job site of your future. Komatsu.
When did we stop thinking up new questions and daring to chase down their answers? The world needs more wonder, more outside thinkers hungry for a challenge. The world needs more cowboys. And it's not what you are that makes you a cowboy or cowgirl, but who you are. It's a shared spirit, the kind that emboldens those who possess it to stand on the perimeter and howl into the unknown with unbendable optimism. The world needs more cowboys.
Cowboys make that long trip over to Honolulu, Hawaii to take on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. It's a evening game. It won't kick off until 10 p.m. Mountain time this Saturday night, but quite a challenge for the Cowboys. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors are playing very well right now. They're 5-1 after a 3-9 season last year, 5-1 at this point, and 2-0 in conference play.
Yeah, just remarkable what they've done. They've won all 3 of their home games. They've won 2 road games. Of course, CSU was a big win for them to start the year. And then last week, the Cowboys can only hope they wore themselves out in a 5 overtime game, but they are playing very well, and there's no question about it, one of the biggest turnarounds in the country.
Yeah. Wyoming defensive back Elijah Halliburton talks about getting ready and what the Cowboys must do before this coming game against Hawaii.
My mindset with it is just for getting that nasty taste out of our mouth, you know, going back to the details in practice, you know, working harder, you know, just giving a little bit more extra at practice and, you know, trying to watch film and study, you know, a little bit more and just taking it to the extra step.
Well, much will be talked of the Hawaii offense. They are putting up some gigantic numbers. Cole McDonald, the Hawaii quarterback, leads the nation in passing yards and touchdowns. He has 24 touchdown passes already. But it's the defense that the Cowboys have to work against when they have the football, and maybe the Cowboys can get something done against that Hawaii defense.
Well, that's certainly the plan. The Cowboys, if they're going to get well offensively, maybe this could be the week. The Bows struggle a little bit on defense. They've given up a lot of yardage, a lot of points. They do have some very athletic guys, as they always do. And I think that they feel like they've been much maligned, and they need to prove that they're better than what the stats tell you. But I think this is more about the Cowboy offense trying to attack that defense and move the football. Wyoming
Cowboy wide receiver James Price talks about that Rainbow Warrior defense.
Defensively, I think they move well. They're pretty athletic. They've got some speed and a lot of big guys up front, and so it'll be exciting for us. So definitely a challenge, you know, in our conference. So.
Well, the Cowboys will have to get something done against that Hawaii defense, but when the Cowboys are on defense, wow, what a challenge there, Kevin. They've got a lot of weapons. A couple of them are leading the nation in their category.
Well, they are. The quarterback is something. He's only a sophomore, but he's 6'4". He's thrown for a bunch of touchdowns, a bunch of yards. They use a lot of 4 wideout sets, like to use the tight end. Ursua, their outstanding receiver. He's a little guy, but he is really dangerous, very quick. Just everything they do is on the move. McDonald likes to roll out a lot. And they offer all kinds of problems because they have a lot of weapons and they do so many different things.
Yeah, Wyoming Cowboy defensive coach. In fact, he coaches the defensive backs, John Richardson. He talks about that dynamic Hawaii offense.
Well, you know, the different weapons that they have, and to be able to insert a new quarterback, losing Drew, you know, they've done a great job with, you know, doing the things that this quarterback does very well, you know, giving them different options and different reads. And of course, he has a lot of weapons out there as well. So they're very unique just as far as they're explosive at all times, you know, and that's where, you know, sometimes some teams like to run a little bit more, but they keep you on balance with the, you know, with their run to pass ratio. They're not just spread all the time. You have to be able to fit up the run and things like that, but they're definitely a dynamic offense.
So the Cowboys are off to Honolulu. They take on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors again Saturday evening, 10 o'clock Mountain Time, the kickoff. We all know about how long that flight is, Kevin. It is a long trip for the Pokes. Just as long coming back, by the way. But it is a long ways to get there, isn't it?
And we've made it many, many times, Dave. But it is tough, and I know the kids are all excited about going over there. And I don't imagine they're thinking a whole lot about the long trip. They want to get there, and they want to be successful over there. But it is a grueling ride, especially the trip home when you leave right after the game and don't get back till midday on Sunday, with another road game coming up after that. So that's going to be a challenge for the Cowboys, but they're all looking forward to it. I don't blame them. I look forward to it the first time I ever went. It's fun. The Rainbow Warriors have to do it 6 times a year, so it's a tough thing, but it's part of it. They're in the league, and here we go.
Cowboy receiver James Price talks about the trip to Honolulu.
You know, I've never been. This is my first time going out to Hawaii, so I'm pretty excited for the experience. But, you know, from what I hear, it is a tough travel, and, you know, that is kind of a competitive advantage that they have. But, you know, I'm excited to embrace it for my first time going out there.
So late Saturday night, the Wyoming Cowboys and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors will tee it up in a most venerable locale, Aloha Stadium. 44th year of Aloha Stadium. I was surprised to hear that. Hawaii will be trying to win their 200th game on Saturday night in Aloha Stadium. So all kinds of stuff going on. It's going to be a great scene. Should be a heck of a football game, Kevin.
It really should be. It's an important game for the Wyoming team. See if they can come off the mat and play well on the road. It was a young stadium the first time we ever went there.
I'll say. Yeah, it was. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, they'll be waiting for the Cowboys. And again, the kick time for that game on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, when the Cowboys take on Hawaii. Well, that's going to do it for us. Come back next time and check everything out here on Cowboy Football Weekly, driven by Nissan. For Kevin McKinney, I'm Dave Walsh. So long, everybody.